our sign. This is the agricultural, but Banco is the main one. Then on the other side, we got the church exclusive at that time. Only white folks live here.
And they want now black people to live here.
And now black people live in this community.
Yeah, they kind of need some renovations and stuff like that.
Man, you ain't seen nothing. This is just the beginning. You know. I remember when I quoted that Bible in that article.
It's the potholes she was talking about.
Yeah, they patch them.
Yeah, they patch them. They don't even fix them.
And then they don't do nothing. But look, it costs really just as much as that to just about to fix them. You see, so that's what that adds up to. So what we're dealing with is people who their minds are not developed enough to understand how important it is to get out here and fix some of these places rather than just patch.
So what's the community and police relations like out there?
Horrible. Here's the reason why. You got a city that's 94% African American, and you got a police force that's about 98% Caucasian, and they don't care nothing about policing, serving, and protecting. They don't care nothing about that. And anytime you don't care about what your job and the criteria for your job is, you rather go out here and well, we stopped a lot of that stuff, at police brutality, because they was able, I was willing to let people call me all through the night, but I had to put a stop to that because
They got out of hand.
Way out of hand. You can call me 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the police would know that I'm coming. So they would try to, rush him off and stuff like that. But you can go anywhere in 5 minutes here. And I'll get there and, find out what's going on, make sure there ain't no police brutality and stuff like that,
So Benton Harbor has a water council
Yeah.
committee. Is there a Benton safety committee council or anything
No.
like that?
No. Matter of fact, like I told them, I don't really have the time to do everything here. I just do enough to keep these folks, these police officers off these people, which is important to me because we don't, people don't stand up unless it's something happened to them or their family members.
Right.
You see, and a lot of times they'll leave you out there.
Yeah.
To get harmed, and then they use the word "I told you." I told him that.
So is there any particular areas in workforce where African Americans work?
Actually, work.
Manufacturing? Is it service industry?
Here, like I would say, maybe 65% of the people here are unemployed.
Really?
Yeah, at least that's I'm being generous. At least 65% of the people here are unemployed.
Is that partially due to the COVID, or is that before?
That was even before, probably before, maybe 55, 60%. But that's what you're talking about, unemployment here.
Any idea about home ownership versus rentals?
Absolutely. Most of the people, a lot of them, I shouldn't say, I would say maybe 45% are renting these homes. You know, I would say about 45%.
When I looked at the Junction Neighborhood Master Plan, they pretty much about 45% tenant, 55%.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, this is what you call a poverty-stricken community. You know, more than anything else, and that's and that's exactly where we at when we live here. Nobody black.
Beautiful home. So and
Yeah.
this is
This ain't nothing. We ain't got to the homes yet.
and St. Joe bought this area.
Well, it's Benton Harbor's, but it's going to be converted over to St. Joe.
And that's why they're building it up.
Right. That's why they building this up. All this, you know.
So how new is this division?
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Tawana Palmer.
Where are you from? Where you reside?
I reside in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Okay. And what brought us here today is that you so that you're part of the Water Council here in Benton Harbor. So can you tell me a little bit about that? Why did you join? What is your why?
Well, basically looking to help get the water filtered, get this lead, just find the issues, get a solution, get the people that we need to be held responsible as far as getting the solutions, getting the things fixed, things like that. So I was just interested in that and learning more about what I can actually do to help get the word out, reach out to other people who may want to help or have resources or different tools that we can use.
Okay. So have you experienced some the water shutoffs, or do you know people that experience water shutoffs here because of not able to pay their bill?
Yes, I do know quite a few people. One lady in particular, she had, I'll say her bill was maybe $100 some, and the next bill is like, what, jump up to $1,000 just out the blue. And
Wow.
yeah.
And she had, and during, because we are in the coronavirus, which is a historical moment, this will be in history, but for sure. So I've also heard that there is also people that were here during the coronavirus when it first started, still had their water shut off when this time.
Yes, and that lady in particular was one of them, because she had to run around to different places because she's kind of elderly and she's on disability. So running around to different places to try to get help, because each person's paying a certain portion. She got to pay a certain portion, so trying to get help to get it on. She eventually did get it done, and they did knock some of the bill off once the coronavirus started. But at first it's just like, no, you got to drop this $1,000 or else. You just, no.
Wow. And there was not much. So you guys were the ones that advocated for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now with Benton Harbor putting on these filters, and I know in Flint they did the switching of the piping. Did that happen too in Benton Harbor as well?
No, that's something they're supposed to be working on. And last I knew, they were trying to say, okay, Benton Harbor, the plant was gonna do their part and fix their pipes, but as far as anybody with homes, we were supposed to do that on our own. So that was something else we were looking into before the shutdown.
So wait, the city said you guys were responsible for switching out your own pipe?
Yeah, the homeowners, they would do the streets or, around, but anything leading from your home out to the street or whatever, that was your responsibility, period.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's something we were looking into.
But but a lot of places, people can't even afford the water bill, so why would you think they can afford switching out piping, which is a very expensive project?
About 60 people did the lead testing, and I'm one of those that did the lead testing for my home. I have not gotten a response back as of yet, and it's been a couple months now. I was supposed to get a letter or something in the mail within maybe a week, but we sent it to the plant, and I haven't gotten anything.
Okay. So the testing is supposed to take about a week and to get it to you, and you are one of those people out of 60 that haven't received this. I'm pretty sure a lot of I'll say just say to say is that no one received it. So, and seeing all this, do you believe a lot of these water issues are probably a basis of structural racism?
I definitely do. I do think that. There's a lot of that going on, but I do think that there's a lot of the issues more so on this side of the bridge versus St. Joe area, things like that. So,
which I've been around. It was a really nice area, really well kept, and a lot of money poured into it. I seen that. It switched soon when I went over the bridge. It was very strange.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hello. What is your name?
My name is Eugene Anderson Jr.
Okay. Where do you reside in?
I reside not in the city of Benton Harbor, but in the 49022, which is a Benton Harbor area zone.
Okay.
For postage.
Okay. So what brings us is today is some issues because quite a few issues, and one of them is the water issues that's happened in Benton Harbor. It wasn't just in Flint or Detroit, but it happened actually in the tri-state area where the Great Lakes are. So could you elaborate on your dealings with water issues, and also what are you doing to help change that?
Well, what I found out about the city of Benton Harbor, who I worked for like 3.5 years, somewhere around in there when I was a police officer. But the water issue here in Benton Harbor, I found out that 2 or 3 times they have failed their testing of water. I don't know if it's the water treatment plant or the infrastructure of the water when I talked to the city manager, but I think it's a combination of both. So back in April timeframe of last year, 2019, we had a demonstration on how to change water filters in this complex here. And from there, about 2 months later, several citizens of the city of Benton Harbor decided to come together and form the Benton Harbor City Water Council. And so from there, it's about maybe 7 on the council and about 12 or 13 people all together that's in the water council. So we decided to come together, talk with the city manager, talk to the state of Michigan, the Barron County Health Department, to make sure that the issues that we have with water is taken care of. And right now we're working with the city manager to make sure the water plant, treatment plant would pass its next testing site. And we just got 60 water testing bottles sent off. So the reason why the Water Council was formed is to make sure the citizens, and it's just a Band-Aid right now, the citizens have good water, which when we got with Barron County Health Department, they allowed us to work together with them to come up with the filters, and then we start handing filters out to the citizens. The ground roots of it, knocking on door to door, asking questions about have their water been tested? If it's not been tested, we'll try to get over there and get the water tested. Do they have good filters, or do they do not have filters? And if they don't have filters, we make sure that they get filters. So that's what the Water Council does here, the Benton Harbor Water Council. We try to make sure that the citizens of Benton Harbor have good filters just for a Band-Aid right now until the water crisis is fixed.
Right. And when did you guys actually identify there was a water crisis in Benton Harbor?
Well, what happened was when we started talking with the city of Benton Harbor about the water treatment plant, there was documentation from them letting us know that they had failed the testing of the city water. And like I said before, if it was infrastructure or a water treatment plant, it really didn't matter to us, because the failure of the water treatment plant testing was a failure. So if you fail twice of sending out good water, then somebody have to make you accountable. And so that's why the board came in existence, to have them.
What's your name?
Jershon Clay,
Okay. Where are you from? Where do you reside?
Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Benton Harbor, Michigan. Okay. You are a member on the Water Council? You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So what brings us to here today is you have a story that you want us to tell us. So
Yeah.
you can go ahead and start. We love to hear your story.
Okay, so I've lived here my whole life in Benton Harbor, and every time we would go and go to school, they would always tell us to drink 8 cups of water. And then here recently, people now, they drink a gallon of water a day. Now, we would always drink out of our faucet. They wouldn't, the school wouldn't really tell us to read between the lines or nothing. So we just would drink faucet water, a lot of it. And we would always wonder why it would taste funny. And we didn't think none of it at the time, until we started going over to like St. Joe and different other places to taste their water. And it was way more clean, and it tasted way better than what we had in our faucet. And we really liked it going to other places to taste water. And yeah, so basically we stopped drinking water from the faucet and just started buying water from the store. And there was a period of time where we would stop buying like the cheap bottles of water and started to buy a little bit higher quality water. And that's how we stopped ourselves from drinking the water. And then the Flint water crisis happened, where they said lead was in the water and all of that bad stuff. But the thing about the water too is that we drink the water, we take showers, we wash our faces with the water, and the lead gets in our bodies. It can still get in our bodies without drinking it. And so I encourage everybody to have a shower filter. That way the lead won't penetrate your skin, and you'll be able to take better showers, and you'll be able to stop the lead from getting into your body. You go to another city, or you go to St. Joe, for example, their water is not like that, not at all. And you go to a facility there too, like if you just go to the art gallery or place of business, their water is not dirty. You go to Benton Township, their water is not dirty, but Benton Harbor's.
Do you know what's the population and demographic, the type of people that stay there in those areas, like St. Joe and all that?
Yeah, and the population isn't huge either. It's a small populated.
Right, but what type of people? Like,
it's predominantly white in St. Joe, and it's predominantly white in all these other surrounding cities, and they act like they don't want us in they don't want us in their community, but we welcome them to ours. So.
Okay. What is your name?
Mary Alice Adams. I'm actually a commissioner for the city of Benton Harbor.
Okay. And what do you do on that council, you said?
Make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Make decisions. Approve our payables, expenditures. Try to find ways to create economic development. And actually, not to toot my own horn, but as legislative chair, I was able to bring forth ordinance of legislation for accepting of medical marijuana. Having a child that was epileptic and learning and watching everything that was going on in Colorado, I figured that I can't pack up and leave, and if this is something that's helpful, we have a lot of children here in Michigan that are epileptic, and if this thing helps, why not?
Exactly.
Because they take a lot of medications that destroy their liver and everything as well. And I've learned the same thing about lead too.
Now, that's a great segue. Now, lead, because lead was found in a lot of places because of old piping, in Flint. And are you from Flint? Do you know people in Flint?
Actually, I grew up here in Benton Harbor, and I went around the world, and I came back, and I stopped in Flint. And the young lady of mine, my baby girl, that passed back in August 15th of 2018.
Wow, I'm sorry.
She resided in Flint. I have a lot of family in Flint. My mother lives in Flint. I have a lot of friends in Flint. And of course, when there's an injustice on one, it's an injustice on us all. And I know that they are not the type of fighters that I am, and somebody, had to stand up and fight for them. And it was just strange because when all of this happened, the state of Michigan had just went into a receivership locally with Benton Harbor and Flint and a couple other predominantly Black communities. And this is when that switch with the water took place under emergency management law. And of course, we were fighting, and that just made the fight even larger. Yeah, and what a fight it was. I mean, we ended up marching to the governor's house.
Okay, so what was the experiences dealing with that lead water and also that march?
It was huge. For us, it was huge, and to get our word across, to let Governor Snyder know that what he and his administration has done was just totally unacceptable. And you need to fix what wasn't broken, but to do something to rectify the problem. And of course, it persisted, because by now the switching of the water from Detroit to the Flint River was devastating. I mean, the pipes already in Michigan and across this country are probably over 100 years old, a lot of it, or older, that needs to be replaced. And for that lead to go through the pipes like that and to cause a larger amount of lead to enter into the human body, I found out after my daughter had passed away that lead actually contributes to seizures. So in my thinking, I'm wondering, was this something that started them up more frequently because the medication had actually calmed it down? And it's bad enough that epileptic medication can harm the bodily organs, and I did lead can as well. It's matter, and water does too.
Water equals life. Black lives matter.
Water equal life. Black lives matter.
Equals life.
Ay,
Black lives matter.
I got the power.
Life.
I got the power. I got the
Water equals life.
I